right, I'm back. Sorry about that. It's still a really raw sore for me. I have a lot of different regrets. Like, I should have ignored my dad's demands that I stay where I was at and not come home to help him. I should have went home. I have anger because nobody was letting me know just how serious it was. I mean, I kind of suspected, but every time I would talk to my dad, even though he was tired, he always seemed upbeat and hopeful and very selfless, because he did not want to focus on his illness. He wanted to focus on how me and his grandkids were doing. So there's that. And I feel like everybody knew before I knew, and that was another issue that I was struggling with, that I was his daughter and I am a daddy's girl through and through. And the fact that everybody around me knew about my dad being sick besides me, and I was the last person to find out, and that was troubling to me. It upset me. Even my partner knew before I knew, and that really pissed me off. And it's just like, I understood why my parents told him before they told me, because they were hoping that he could be a support system for me once they did tell me. But even still, I just felt like everybody knew how attached and how important my parents were to me. And so to be the last person to find out that my dad was facing a battle with cancer, and it devastated me. And then to find out that I wasn't able to be there in the way that I wanted to be there, it upset me. But I know how my dad is. He is very strong-willed, and I know that he would not have wanted me to see him like that. Just like whenever I would video chat with him, he always had a very big, thick sweatshirt on, yellow, just like this. That's the reason why I'm wearing yellow, because my dad, he loved this yellow sweatshirt. My dad is not a football fan in the least bit, but he bought a Redskin sweatshirt that was yellow, and then it had the emblem in the center. And my dad loved that sweatshirt, and he always wore it. And so in order to commemorate him, I am also wearing a yellow sweatshirt. But either way, he was wearing a thick sweatshirt all the time, so that I could not see that he was losing weight at a drastic rate. My dad was already a pretty thin person, but he was losing weight. My dad passed away on a Thursday. And like I said, on the Wednesday prior to his passing, I was not able to speak to him. My mom said that he was sleeping all day. And so on a Tuesday, the Tuesday before his passing, I was talking to him and my mom. I was talking to both of my parents, and my mom did mention that, you know, your dad is losing weight. Like I said, my dad was already a thin person, but he looked extremely thin. But, you know, he was still in good spirits trying to talk to me, and I couldn't take it. And I just said, I gotta go. I said, I love you guys so much. I'm gonna call you guys in a little bit. And I hung up from them because I didn't want I didn't want my dad to see me crying. I got on a flight and flew home the day after his passing, and just going to my parents' house, the house was just filled with his energy, and you could feel my dad all around, and it just brings so many emotions up. knowing that his physical presence wasn't there, but I could still feel my dad in every room of that house. It was overwhelming. But some strange things had been happening when I went home. And I know that people might think that this is the craziest thing ever, but some of the things that I'm getting ready to tell you, other people were there to witness it, so it's not like I'm just alone in my my thought process. So there was a few things that happened. So when I arrived in Michigan on Friday after my dad's passing, which is the very next day, I was adamant that I needed to go see my dad. I needed to see him. I needed to have my moment with him, because the night that he passed away on Thursday night, all of my family was there except for me. But anyway, so I told my mom it was very important to me that I needed to go see my dad, and so in order to go see him, though, I had to wait for him to be transferred from the hospital to the funeral home that was going to be taking care of his body. Mind you, this is the week before Thanksgiving. So my dad died exactly 1 week prior to Thanksgiving. And so a lot of my family members, they did come over, and the only thing that was keeping my mom afloat was she was just listening to music. So a song came on, and it was by Shalimar, and the name of the song was "This Is for the Lover in You." And the song was playing, and my mom was singing along with the song, and then she said, "Your dad used to love this song." And as soon as she said that, the music turned up so loud to where you could not hear anyone around you. It was so loud. I have never heard music be this loud. Like, it sounded like you were in the middle of a club. That's how loud the music was. The music turned up so loud, and we all was looking around like, who turned the music up? Who turned the music up? And like, it stayed like that for a minute, and all of a sudden it turned all the way down. It turned so low that you could not hear the music anymore. And we all just kind of looked at each other, and we just kind of sat in silence for just a moment and just trying to take in what had just happened. And I said to my mom, I said, "Was that Dad?" And she said, "I don't know, I think so." And so I just sat there, and tears just started flowing down my face. Then I went to go see my dad. We actually got an opportunity, so we went to the funeral home, met with the funeral director, and started to plan out the details of my dad's funeral. My mom was not able to communicate in the way that she would have wanted to, because of course she's filled with grief. The person that she has spent many years with as her husband is gone. Her life partner is gone, so I can understand. And so I felt the need to try to be strong in my mom's moments of grief. And so I did. I ended up planning the majority of the funeral services along with the help of my brother. After we got the majority of the services planned, she said that she's going to bring my father into a room so that I could have a moment with him. And so they did. They wheeled him into a room, and he was covered with a blanket, well, with a sheet, I'll say. And when I walked into the room, this calmness just came over me for a moment. Because when I approached my dad, he just looked so peaceful. I have never seen anybody look so peaceful. He did not look like he was in any pain. His eyes were closed, but they were slightly ajar. Like, they were slightly, just a little bit. And he had a slight smile on his face. Like, his cheekbones was raised. And yeah, he looked so peaceful. He looked calm, like he wasn't in pain, like he was happy. I don't know how to describe it to you, but my dad looked so happy. Like I said, he had a smile on his face and he just looked so peaceful. And I touched his hair and his hair felt so soft. I touched his hand and his hand felt so soft. And my dad, he just looked like he was just asleep. And then I know I broke down, because then I was just I wanted him to wake up. I just wanted him to wake up. I just wanted him to wake up. And so I was trying to get him to wake up. Oh, I'm sorry. Either way, just seeing my dad like that, I am so glad that I will forever have that image of him. I know this sounds so morbid. I'm so glad though, because he looked so peaceful. He looked like he was resting and he looked happy. Like the smile on his face, he just looked so happy. And so then I asked my mom, I said, Mom, I said, did they do this to him? Did they make him smile like that? And then I even had to ask the funeral director, like, did you guys do this to him? They said, no. That's what he looked like when he was brought to us. Because again, this is the very next day. And so this is the next day right after his passing. And so they said they hadn't done anything really to him. He had not been embalmed or anything like that. So and he looked just like himself. Of course he looked, his face did look thinner, but he looked just like himself. And I can rest with knowing that my dad looked like he was at peace, truly at peace. So I have a lot of regrets. I have a lot of anger inside of me, and anger towards what happened, anger towards feeling like my dad left. I didn't get closure. I didn't get to say I love you one last time. And although I do know deep within that my dad knows how much I loved him. Just knowing that he's not here physically anymore for me to call and talk to and listen to him say his little off-the-cuff remarks. My dad was known for being, if he was upset and he had some choice words for you, he was going to let it be known. My dad did not bite his tongue for anybody. It's hard. And then knowing that my mom is in that house, because I've tried to get her to come and stay with me and she won't leave her house, and just knowing that she's in that house with his presence all around her. And I know it's hard for her. It may be really difficult for me, but it's more difficult for her because she spent over 35 years every single day with my dad. So I feel for her. I know this video is super long now, but that's what I've been going through. And the last time that I was home in Michigan before his passing was in August. I went home to Michigan and I stayed there for 2 weeks. I was originally only going to stay there a week, but then my mom had convinced me, like, nope, you need to stay longer. Now that I know that my dad is not here and everything that he went through, now that I think back to that final trip that I had in August, all I can think about is the fact that how excited my dad was to see us, and the fact that as soon as I walked through that door, my dad was immediately trying to make sure he was doing stuff to help me out. My dad was selfless in that way. He was always looking out for his baby girl. My dad was like, I done bought tires for you. Gonna go to Sam's Club and get them put on, and then tomorrow I got an appointment for you so that you can go get your shocks replaced on your car. And it was just go time. And so that's what we did. The next day we got up and my dad had me running out to go get my car fixed. He drove me down to the Secretary of State to get my driver's license renewed. He sat in that place with me for that long length of time, just sitting there being with me, and didn't care that he was just waiting. I know that he was just happy to be with his daughter, to be with his baby girl. Whenever he came to town, he was always on go, and whenever I came home to my parents' house, he was always on go, ready to do this and that. I told him, I said, Dad, I can't keep up with you. I'm ready to go home and go to bed. I'm ready to go to sleep. It makes me wonder if he could sense, if he could feel that maybe his time left on this earth was short. And so he was trying to make sure that he got as many quality moments with the people that he loved as much as possible. Yeah. So my dad passed away. Well, he left his earthly home. I'm just gonna say that he left this earthly home on November 21st. And what I will say is that I'm just going through the grieving process, and it's made it difficult for me to want to do anything. I literally just want to sit in my room and cry every day. And it's just like I have to force myself to get up out of bed, go to work. I have to force myself to do anything, to talk to people. I have to force myself to act like I am okay, basically. And even though I tell people all the time it's okay to not be okay, but I do feel like I have to fake the funk a lot of the times, because I feel like I am dealing and I'm grieving. And people try to put a time constraint on how long you are allowed to grieve. But it's been 3 months and it still feels like it just happened yesterday. So it's just like, in order for me to deal, I know that I'm in denial. I know that I'm in denial. It's like, I know that my dad is not here, but I pretend like he is here. I pretend like, oh, my dad is at home with my mom, and I just pretend like that and it's like I go through most of my days living like that, like my dad is at home, until I talk to my mom that day. And then it's like it always comes back to me like, nope, he's gone. But this situation has made me more compassionate to when people are going through death and experiencing what I experienced with the funeral director. That's a whole nother like video in itself. Just it almost made me want to become a funeral director, because you have a lot of people that work in the funeral industry that have zero compassion for what people are going through. And I definitely experienced that as I tried to plan my dad's service, dealing with people in that industry that just have no compassion for what someone else is going through. But again, like I said, that's another video in itself. If you would like to hear about that, I'm more than willing to share just in another video. But also, the passing of my father has really made me question my purpose in life, and I know that it's also caused my mom to question that. Have gone into a journey of self-reflection of what do I want out of life. Like I said, what's my purpose in life, and what can I do to make sure that my dad will always be proud of me. I know my dad is very proud of me. I posted a picture on social media of my dad and myself, and one of my cousins replied that everybody knew how much my dad was proud of me. And he said you could see it definitely in that picture. I'll probably share it here as well. But it's just like I have this urge to do things that will definitely honor my dad and make him proud of me. And so that's where I'm at right now. Just trying to figure out what I'm going to do personally, professionally, even with this channel. When your strongest rock, your strongest foundation, the concrete of your life is gone, it just gives you a sense of instability when something like that happens. So just trying to find my way, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. This has just definitely become a time of transition for me, a time of great change, and then being able to deal with that change. That's what I'm going through right now. So I hope to be back though. I felt like I could not make any videos relating to makeup, hair, fitness, clothing, or anything of that such without first addressing my absence and what it was that I've been going through. If you can definitely relate, if you have lost someone that's very dear to you, that's had such an impact on your life. Let me know if cancer has affected you and your family in some type of way. Let me know that down in the comments. You know, I'm here for you. I understand what it is that you may be going through. Hopefully we can have lots of positive comments below, people sharing their experiences and what they may be going through. It's part of the healing process. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading any comments that are left, and hopefully we can inspire each other to be able to cope and to be able to move forward, not move on, because I know that I'll never move on from the death of my father, but I hope to be able to move forward and continue to live a life that will make my dad proud of me. And yeah, I'm gonna go on that note. Hopefully more videos will be to come. I appreciate those of you that actually watched this really long video. I appreciate you. If you're going through anything that could be devastating or traumatic or anything of this such, please know that I completely understand. And hopefully we can have a conversation down in the comments where you can feel support. If you don't have support anywhere else, that you can definitely feel support from me, because I understand completely. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna go. Hopefully this video translates well, and I hope that my dad is not pissed off at me for sharing some details about him. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.